Okay.
There we go. You can introduce yourself if you want to.
Okay, cool. I'm So Squishy, and this is the lovely
The
Bon Bon.
lovely. Just the
Thought you were
awkward
gonna jump in there.
pause. No, I'm really bad
I
at
totally thought you were
timing
gonna jump in
cues.
there.
No, I'm not that good at communicating like that.
That's okay.
Anyways, today we're talking about marketing and specifically about discoverability and application. By that I mean what platform is good for what. Like, is it better to stream on YouTube or is it better to stream on Twitch? Or is Instagram better than TikTok? Etc. First we're gonna go over what are discovered. No, we're gonna go platforms, specifically about application platforms first. So, of course, what is an application platform? Okay. To simply say it is a platform which is made for content creators, but it's not optimized to do the work for you. You have to be the one to tell other people that you're using this platform. So it's just an application that you use. For example, Twitch, Patreon, and Discord are one of them, but also Pinterest and Telegram are part of it. Because people can find you on the search bar, but they don't know, they don't know what to look for if they don't know you. There is no front page. Pinterest is based on your personal likings and rarely ever gets pushed in something that might be out of your normal style. Patreon basically has no community within itself except other Patreon creators. So you would have to go to people, say like, oh look, I have a Patreon, please go check it out. Same with Discord, you can have community Discords, but they don't get pushed. You have to be the one to look them up. For discovery platforms, we have YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Tumblr. Discovery platforms means that they have an algorithm that would push you to the front page of people. So YouTube obviously has a front page, and if you, for example, watch a lot of Minecraft videos, you might see Squishy's videos pop up someday. Same with TikTok, you have a For You page and you have a following page. For You is based on your likings, and the following is, of course, who you follow. TikTok has been insanely good with the algorithm, so I would highly suggest putting clips or funny moments on there, but don't forget to link your normal, what's it called? Your normal streaming site that you use. Same for Instagram. You do need to use the, how do I explain this? There is a front page, except you need specific tags. We'll go over tags in a different lesson, which is also about keywords and how you can optimize posts and stuff. For Facebook, same song as Instagram. And for Tumblr, I haven't used Tumblr in a really long time. I don't know how it is now, but I do know that you do get pushed with certain subjects and with the correct titles. For in-betweens or others, Reddit is basically like Instagram, except there's even less pushing to the front page, and there is no personal connection. For Twitter, it's sort of like a both type situation, where it's like you have to both, how do I explain this? You can say anything, you can post anything, you can use tags, except look at it as if you're just eating it outside of a window and you're just hoping it will hit someone who might like it and then also share it. So it could be good, but there is no guarantee that it will work out perfectly. Snapchat, you can use Snapchat as a discovery platform, but most of the time it's purely based on connection you already have with people. Same for LinkedIn. The algorithm is pretty great, but it's not perfect.
The algorithm's pretty gay.
Pretty much, yeah.
For most of these.
Okay. Then we have these beautiful picture right there. Except you can talk now because I have to fix something.
Okay, I'm gonna. Are you sharing your screen, Bon? Or do I need to share my screen? I think I need to share my screen.
You don't have to. You cannot do it on the Sage channel. But my screen is visible on the recording. So if you would talk about the mapping major platform thingy, or do you want to do the strategy stuff?
Let's go over the social media marketing platforms first, just so that we can cover each of these, and then we'll come look at them in the web whenever we've gone through them.
Yeah.
And so we're only going to really talk about the strategies and the cons from this graph here. But for each of these, if you can see in the recording, but I'm going to go through them for Facebook. Some of the strategies you've got is you're able to build relationships. You got advertising on Facebook. You can do like paid advertising or your own advertising, and local marketing. So Facebook is going to be more centralized towards like people you know and like things you can do locally. And then the cons, because of it being like so local, is it's going to have weak organic reach. So you're not going to be able to kind of get out of your cage with that one. So Facebook is more for like things around your area. And then you got YouTube, which is way more organic than compared to Facebook. That's going to open up all kinds of advertising doors. You got your SEO. Some of the cons for YouTube is it's going to be really resource heavy. The videos are. So I think what they mean by resource heavy is probably by like having to do the uploads, but let me.
It could also be because YouTube is highly saturated with videos. Like if you just look, you know how he recently hit like 1 trillion views on Minecraft videos? I think that's what they mean by resource heavy as well.
Highly saturated.
Yep. Yeah.
And I just thought of this. I didn't realize I blew past it. But for those of you that don't know what SEO is, that's going to be search engine optimization. So that's one of those things that YouTube has that you're not going to get on on other platforms. Like some other platforms have them, but that's one of the things that makes YouTube good for organic reach is optimization of their search engine. So you can use like tags and keywords, which we'll talk about in another lesson, but it opens you up to be able to reach more people that way. Then we'll move on to Instagram. Some strategies for that. It's also another organic platform. This graph lists it for influencers. So if you're wanting to create content that's kind of niched and localized into like one brand style, that's gonna open you up for things to do with like e-commerce. So like you got a homepage where you can get views from people that are outside of your following, so you could sell stuff, so it's kind of a platform for that. One of the cons this graph lists is high ad costs, which I could definitely agree with. I don't purchase any ads for any of my personal content because the price is just too dang high. And then let's move on to Twitter. I'm just going to kind of blow through this as fast as I can. Some strategies for that: ads for males. I guess that's
Twitter is very biased sometimes. They have researched, and the most ads that have had an impact or clicks were either male themed or even misogynist ads.
Oh man. Okay, so you can see, and I guess with TikTok, it's predominantly female demographically on that app, so you can see that it would be more influential for female targeted ads.
Yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately with these marketing strategies, there is going to be some bias depending on what you're trying to make happen, and it's good to kind of think about what kind of content you're producing to avoid biases like that if you choose to do that. Um, but yeah, so Twitter's kind of biased towards dudes. That could also be listed as a con, so we're going to go ahead and add that to the cons list to this graph. We're just going to openly edit that in our brains. We're also a con for that app as well as small ad audience, so that could make sense. You're not going to have a very big reach unless you're talking about stuff that's popular or trendy.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what that even
LinkedIn.
is.
It's LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, we're not like business professionals here. This is for
Professionals. We know what we're talking about.
we'll just blast through that. I don't have a LinkedIn. Onto TikTok. Anyway, so strategies for TikTok. We were just talking about it being demographically female. So thinking about that, you can also do series content, which is really cool. People have been. I watch series on there. They're really quick. You can link them together. People like that a lot. And then influence marketing, just kind of like Instagram. That they have a homepage where you can kind of capitalize off of that. Cons for TikTok is relationship building because they don't really have a lot of relationship building between creators or between users. You're basically just kind of consuming stuff at a really high rate. Moving on to Snapchat, that one's app marketing, locations-based marketing, and video ads. Yeah, that's definitely something you could do. I don't think any of us are going to be doing any of that. Snapchat is definitely really great for, just kind of giving like the day-to-day if you wanted to do that. And then cons
That
relationship
might
building, you
okay,
could say
it
that.
might look weird, but this graph is purely based from a marketing business viewpoint. Like, a business does not have time for relation building.
True. And like we also are kind of like using this graph for our own purpose. It's not exactly tailored. Like this
Yeah.
graph wasn't made for what we're talking about specifically. So I'm glad you pointed that out. That way people know we're just kind of using parts of it for this. And then we added 2 apps to this as well, just because they weren't included, which are Twitch and Patreon. Bon, you want to do Twitch's strategy since you came up with those, and I'll do Patreon's?
Okay, so branding is really important. By that mean is if you have an about me tab, make sure that it looks, at least you have something. You don't need any fancy pictures to start out with, but as soon as you like get like, I don't know, the ball rolling, get like something that matches your normal overlays, or even if it's just a simple picture with a title saying about me, this is the rules, these are credits I use, or anything basically. By be steady, I mean have a steady schedule or some sort of interaction within Twitch, because if you want to go for partner, just getting the criteria doesn't mean that you get partner unless in like affiliate, because you need to be partnered, then you get looked at by actual people and they want to see your how frequent you go live, your average viewer over a longer period than what the criteria says, blah blah blah, very busy, stupid stuff, and go outside of Twitch for growth. Twitch does not push you to the front page. They only push you towards your followers, and you cannot get followers if you don't get pushed to the front page. It's Twitch is really awful to grow in by itself. So I would say go to Instagram, TikTok, or even YouTube to grow on Twitch. Cons, again, no growth within Twitch. The algorithm doesn't push you. The only way that you would get pushed is the amount of average live viewers and the amount of your stream was clicked at by individual accounts. So you might have 10 people click on your stream, but if your average live viewers is still only 1, you would not get pushed. It's like a multiplication of each other. And
Makes sense.
yeah. And for the front page, there is a front page, but it's not really looking like a front page. So it's kind of weird for people without an account or just new to Twitch. So I would say if you get someone to join Twitch for the first time, maybe explain how it works and how it not works. You want to do Patreon?
Okay. And then for Patreon, um, so I just kind of think of Patreon as kind of like an add-on, at least for me in my personal respect. But some strategies you can think of to go along with Patreon are they have tier-based memberships where you can like this is all for like monetization. Patreon's a good thing for that. Bad for discoverability, but good for monetization. There's merch options, and you can capitalize off of like behind the scenes content and stuff you make. So like build maps or pixel art or like
Anything really.
VTuber models or anything like that that you make, you can sell on there with like as a store to open people up to that. However, some cons for Patreon that I've found is that sometimes it's hard for users to understand. Like they don't really get going from one platform to another, and then how it's supposed to connect things between the platform. So I've run into confusion a lot of times with that. And then also afterwards, after you get patrons, the payment process can be kind of weird. So you have to look out for that. And then Patreon has little to no discoverability whatsoever. So you've got to directly link people to your Patreon in order to get people to see it in
Yeah.
most cases. So keep that in mind whenever
Patreon itself does have a front page, but it does not push your content to the front page unless you make like billions with it.
Yeah, truth. Yeah, so like, and a lot of these they do have front pages. Like, I know you said Twitch has one, but it doesn't really do anything. Like a lot of these things do have front pages, but they're not like pushing your stuff. So that's
Yeah.
what we mean when we're like it doesn't have a front page or it's worth nothing. Like, you don't really get a lot of discoverability from some of them. Do we want to move on to the web now?
The web. You mean
Okay.
the other one, the mapping? Yes.
I guess I guess this is more of like a scatter plot.
Yeah, it's all the same thing.
Okay, so this one's called A Study of Social Media Mapping Major Platforms. We have only made 2 additions to this. We haven't really changed much. There are some programs and apps on here that I don't really know about, so we're just going to kind of talk about the ones that we do. And this is kind of for you guys to kind of just absorb and understand. This is like an XYZ coordinate plane that explains what programs do in
Yeah,
relation
let's
to the
start
type.
with the X and the Y before we start to explain all the 4 types.
Okay.
So for the Y, so for the one going up and down, so blue and orange, we have the interaction driven and content driven. Interaction driven is high dependency on user cooperation, and by that it's like you need to get your viewers or other users to interact with your content for it to get pushed by the algorithm. And for content driven, it's more like you can upload a video and people can watch it later, watch it now, and then it goes from there. It's just like, oh, you have posted something, I will push it to your followers, and if that works well, we'll push it to the front page. It might seem very similar, but it does make a big difference. With content driven, you don't need to push to people like, hey, look, I made this. For the X-axis, we have discovery oriented and click oriented. Click oriented is basically, oh, there are communities within the app or platform, and for discovery, it's like, oh, hey, I like this, so the platform is gonna recommend this to me instead of this is something similar. Wait, no, I mixed those up. Discovery pushes things that you might also like, and click oriented is stuff you already like. That's the main difference. That's why you see YouTube all the way in the corner with content driven and discovery oriented. You can just upload a video and it will get pushed to your followers and also beyond that. where if you would look at WhatsApp, is all the way in the other corner. You do not. WhatsApp is based on phone numbers, so it would be weird if people use it as a social media platform, but still, that's not the thing. You do not get growth on WhatsApp without you doing the work, basically. You can go explain type 1.
Okay. So this is the round table. It's click oriented and interaction driven. And this is, I guess you can think more of like stuff for in real life, like how Bon was saying, WhatsApp's phone numbers. There's Facebook, like how we were talking about earlier, being super localized in your area kind of thing.
Very
So the round
personal
table,
as well.
yep, very personal. So you're gonna have more like chat-based features and comments and all that kinds of stuff in these apps where you can talk with your people. So
And we have type 2, the conference, and that is like as if you're just in, it's like here on Discord within a stage channel. You're just listening to us teach you these kind of things. And it's so up to you if you want to be here or not. Those kind of things. The user kind of chooses where they want to interact with and what they want to share and stuff. They do go with other users based on shared interest, but it's not the main thing. The discovery, again, is things that you might like, and the interaction is like, oh yeah, no, I like this. And then the algorithm says like, oh, you like this? Well, what about this? What about this? You know? For type 3, you can do it.
so that one, oh, do you want to do type 3?
No, you can do it.
Okay. So as she was saying, it's like this one's even more discoverability centered than the conference. So we've got YouTube in that far left corner, and then TikTok really close to it. These are going to be platforms where, like Bon said, it's new stuff is shown to you, more regularly than anything else. And then it's really content based. So if you're wanting to produce and like get stuff out to newer people, then you're going to want to maximize the content and put it on those two types of apps. I'm not sure about the other apps other than Pinterest. I've never seen the other ones, but
DeviantArt is basically like a really old Instagram where you just post drawings, and then if it goes viral, you get pushed to the front page. But other than
is that
that,
SoundCloud?
yeah, the other is SoundCloud.
Hey, okay, SoundCloud's cool. But yeah, same thing. So I mean, I'm glad it's not as close as far as YouTube is, because it's harder to be found on SoundCloud, but there's still some discoverability there. So
Yeah, if you make a good impact, you get pushed.
yep.
And the last one we have is repository. I don't know how to English, but that's just like where people want content from specific creators, and that's based on their personal likes, personal IDs, and connection what they have. For example, Twitch fits in here because the biggest thing you can do to grow on Twitch is interaction with your viewers and forming a personal bond with your followers. That way that people might also get enthusiastic about you and share you. Like the algorithm doesn't do it, your followers do it. And content driven, you still make the content, and most of the time there would still be a barrier compared to the which one, the round table. There would be barely any barrier because that would be even more personal. I think that's the 4 types and everything we have so far.
Okay.
Let's see. What's that, 2 dots? Not sure. It looks like a game, but it's probably like some sort of dating app. It looks like a dating app we have over here, so it might be. I cannot click on it and to look at it, Okay. Some do's and don'ts, maybe. Let's do a do
Okay.
and don't about Instagram. Instagram has changed a lot in the last few years. Basically, they became an advertising platform. They became an e-commerce. I don't like Instagram as much as I used to because Instagram lost its original function as just a photo sharing website. I would say make use of the newest uh, features they add, like the Reels, and even Instagram TV might still give you a bigger boost than just posting. Uh, Also, connect within Instagram. Use the connections within Instagram to flow it into either your YouTube or your Twitch or your whatever you use as your main platform. Uh, don't uh like a lot of okay. So when people go into your channel or your account and spam like, so they like every one of your posts, you and both them might run risk of either getting a suspension or even banned because it might be seen as spam. So I don't like when people like to like spam me because I don't want to run risk of getting my account removed. Also, don't try to, how do I explain it? Don't focus on the wrong things. Try to stay with the trends within Instagram itself. Don't just blatantly post TikToks that might have done well on TikTok. That's not. Instagram algorithm recognizes watermarks and instantly brings it down. So it does not get any reach at all. Also, shadow
Truth.
ban does not exist. You're just posting the wrong things. I'm just saying, like, shadow banning does not exist. If you don't post, of course you're not gonna get any likes. Uh, Anyways, what else do we have? Twitch do's and don'ts. For Twitch, do go outside of Twitch to connect and grow. Don't stay within Twitch. Don't expect people to follow you back if you look at a streamer. Don't put streamers in an awkward position at all. Don't go into random people's chat and say like, "Hey, you want to collab?" Don't go cloud chasing. It's just basic Twitch etiquette, basically. I think that's all I have for Instagram and Twitch. And also have to. I don't know enough about YouTube for do's and don'ts. I think you can fill me in.
I think some do's for YouTube is do post. Don't like don't fixate and like think that you can't post because it's not good enough or you don't have the best software or anything like that. Always post. Like a video a done is better than perfect when it comes to YouTube. That's all I can say.
Does YouTube also want like a steady upload schedule, or is it like? Because I know that
I think
Twitch prefers
I
a
mean
steady schedule. I'm not sure about YouTube.
post as much as you can. I mean that's is where I'm with it. Like I mean, obviously you're going to want to do as steady as you can on all of these different platforms if you have time for it. But definitely post as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
But focusing on content is good too. Like you don't want to miss out on something good because you wasted time just trying to push things out all the time, you know?
Yeah. And for homework slash tips, we don't have any homework. We don't really have any tips because this is something that you just have to get used to and making it like an automatic thing in your content creation career. It's not something funny you can do in 5 minutes to show it the next lesson. So we don't have anything that would help instantly.
Woo! No homework.
Okay. If you have any questions, just either raise your hand or put them in the whiteboard so we can answer it before I'm gonna stop the recording. No question? Okay,
Okay.
cool,
Looks like no
cool.
questions.
Awesome. I'm gonna do the outro real quick. If you liked today's video, I tried my best. I promise I did. Be sure to like and subscribe. I do put all my effort into these lessons, even if they might seem a bit rushed sometimes. I have a lot of things going on in my own life as well, so today's lesson has been quite short. I do hope to get next lesson a bit more prepared. Don't forget to subscribe again. I think that's all I have for today. If you're interested in seeing these or following these lessons live, almost like 5 weeks earlier than they get released onto YouTube, be sure to join the Discord. You can either send me a message and I'll add you to the Discord, or you can join my Twitch streams and then go use !school to join the Discord instantly. Alright, that's it. Love you. Bye.